why don't you guys help me? Why don't you look at your little map here, and why doesn't somebody say, what does this do? And we may not go into it in full detail, but as part of the demo, why don't you pretend like you are going to click on this little button, and maybe you wanted to know something about it. Who would like to click on a button? Cheerio.
AP vendor waiting room.
Okay, perfect. What does that sound like?
It's an accounts payable.
Okay, so AP sounds like accounts payable. So she's on the map and she says AP vendor waiting room. Now, real quick before I go into it, what is it close to? Okay,
Purchase orders.
okay. So your accounts payable, this is an accounting term. What does accounts payable mean? Who do I owe? Okay, as a company, who do I owe? Well, guess what? You're probably paying for product, bigger units. You're probably either that or paying somebody else who may be a user or something else, okay? That's why it's centered right here. It's connected to a vendor. It's very important, some of the positioning of these different pieces, okay? So this is a concept. What in the heck would be a waiting room? Why would we term it like that? Cheerio, what do you think?
It's who I owe money to.
Okay.
It's my accounts payable.
Waiting for
report.
payment?
Correct. So this is something, okay, so an accounts payable means I owe some money. So technically, they're not really gonna sit in your waiting room for 3 months for you to pay them type thing. But in theory, there's a time element that's involved. And so that's why we would say, hey, you're gonna be kind of in the waiting room because we're currently tracking. Maybe I owe you 10 different POs or for that, but you're currently sitting there. So if I click on that, basically it'd come in here and say, who do I owe money to? And it kind of breaks it into splits and REIs and POs. And splits is a term. Splits basically means payments that are on account. And the reason it's called a split is eventually, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, say I had a bunch of pieces that I owed on. Okay? In order to pay for those, what I would actually have to do is I would create one big check, but then in order to satisfy the little subs that I was paying off, I create a little internal thing and I say, hey, I split your payment. I'm actually holding it on something else. So I'm actually stacking objects together when I pay it off. That's where the term split comes. It's actually how we back pay it. We basically can take the bigger check that ends up paying for 10 of them and we split it into 10 little mini pieces to satisfy those little pieces so that they can move on in their turn. It might sound like, whoa. Well, I brought objects and we will be doing it and it'll be super fun as far as like how things happen. So it'll be cool. All right. So once I come in here, say I wanted to click on this little one right here, Sherwin-Williams. I own $220. Looks like for currently, it's the expense number 21. Looks like I have a nice little photo of my family here attached to it. This was a while ago. This was in Salida, Colorado. And we actually have one more besides that now. But anyway, that was just, this is my play site. But basically I attached some sort of a document to it. And I know that I'm trying to pay this one. It says that I owe $220.95. Its current age is 202 days old. I've been a slacker. I should pay this long ago. This is just a play site. But basically what I'm trying to show you is that this vendor waiting room, it has an element of time.
Okay, so this may be a really stupid question, but just the photo is not, it could also be my invoice from them.
Oh, absolutely. The photo I put there, and please don't take this wrong, I just saw, hey, wow, I've attached a photo to this one. That particular photo would definitely be the scan of what is the $220 for, okay? Line item this, line item this, line item this, maybe a freight charge, maybe a whatever. Like, it could be multiple pages, like if, say you're buying little teeny stuff, $220 it might be multiple pages. You put all of the different little pages up, you then have all of the documentation right there as far as what it is. Okay, because it's just one, it doesn't actually allow me to have any like point and click type interfaces. Once you get more than two, right over here, where it says pay, you would actually have little check boxes that you're like, I'm going to pay for it. This one, this one, this one. Ooh, I don't quite have enough for this one. I'll click it and I'll only pay half. Like, it allows you to do that. And then when you pay it, what it does is it says, okay, cool, let's create some money coming out of the bank, and then don't worry, I'll take care of it behind the scenes. I'll plug all of these little connections so that I know what I'm paying for. And so that's where the term splits kind of comes in. I'm just going to hit back right now. Basically, here's some POs. Let's see if we can go in here to Text Trail, see what they have for some POs. I have two little POs. I can't do them yet because they are not yet verified. These boxes are grayed out. If I click them, nothing happens. However, if I were to click over here and I verify them, basically it's saying, yes, that's okay, let's approve that for payment. All of a sudden, I now have this little checkbox that I can click. So there's a number of checks and balances, and even with permissions, you could be like, I want you to enter the POs. I'll do this, and you do this. Like you can mix and match it if you want to, as far as like who gets to play in what realm. So once I get that little checkbox there, I'll just verify the other one just so you can see me click on a couple of them. Click. It's just a simple little, hey, I approve this in a way. It's now ready. I can go click, click. Do we want to pay the whole thing on this one or partial? Partial. Okay, how much are we paying, Shannon? 100? Perfect. So then we basically hit pay. And so what this does is it says, okay, I'll gather up this information and I'm going to say, I've got a full payment and I've got a partial payment. Here's the total. Let's start creating a new expense. This is going to be new money coming out of the bank. So say I come down here. If I wanted to, I could even say, hey, you know what? I need those information there. Let's go here. And they don't care that I'm paying for 13 and 17. They want to see these guys. Like, it depends on the company, what they want to see. Say I'm going to do a check. Let's say High Country Bank. And what's a good check number? Just go 555 type thing. And we come down here and we're like, how are we paying for this? Let's go to inventory and create the receipt. Click. So now what we have is we have a receipt, number 24, okay? It's paid to Text Trail is the vendor, so it's already tied to a different little piece. This one right here. It's for a total of $372.28. My notes and stuff right here, it's for payments made on POs number, these were the numbers that they assigned, that we brought them in. And basically what ends up happening is I now have small little line items here that it built for me with an actual link right back to those particular POs. So if I go to 17, just to kind of see what was on it, this would happen to have 5 little items. So what we're doing is we're virtually connecting all these different little pieces together. So this one right here, if I click, see this little thing that says payments 1? If I clicked on it, guess what it will tell me? Which expense receipt I just did. It says, hey, just so you know, on expense receipt number 24, you put $100 towards this. Okay, so it starts connecting all of these little dots as far as some of the different things. Do you guys have any questions or anything? I feel like I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. We're kind of half doing a demo, half doing some teaching, so it's kind of not really a normal demo in a way, but like basically what I'm hoping that you can see is that you can bounce around the system, okay? And as you bounce around the system, I'm just doing normal operations, okay? But in the background, guess what's happening? I'm automatically creating a cause and effect relationship, okay? We just went and paid these things off. If I go back to that AP vendor waiting room, am I going to see Text Trail in there? Let's go check it out, okay? So I'm going to go here. I don't think it's set up as my home page, but basically if I was going to go a different way, this is the exact same way to get there. It's just a different name. It's called Payable's homepage. I'm going to look down here, and I see Text Trail. Looks like I still owe some right over here, and I owe $94. I guess we short paid that one. So it did not totally disappear. But in a way, what we're trying to do is kind of let you know that the system just kind of keeps track of stuff. You're just doing dip, 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 dip. In the background, we're like, okay, need that? No, didn't need that. We start pulling these objects and data over time.
So why didn't it show on your main page that you were down to 9404?
Let me go back real quick. It probably had right next to it that I had a partial payment.
Okay.
Watch this right here. Okay, so I said Text Trail and I came across and this was the link.
Oh, I see, okay.
Look what it says right here.
Right, okay.
O is only 94, but this is the link to the main amount.
Okay.
So I just happened to scan that particular column And once you're trained in here, you'll know exactly which ones of these columns you're going to be looking at. And I was just speaking quickly, that's why I said, oh, look, here it is. But it basically is there, just which one is the drill down link. And right here you can see the color. Adilas, what it does is it basically helps you create these things, and if you want to get deeper, you drill down. That's technically what it's called. It's called a data drill down. So we just drill down a layer. If I wanted to go deeper, I could actually be like, hey, let's actually go to PO number 2. Now I'm deeper. I'm now in PO number 2. If I wanted to say, hey, let's see this little item, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm drilling down even deeper. You can see I was having some fun with my other photos and stuff. Okay, so this is funny, just funny. These are snow guns. This is in Salida, in the middle of the winter. It's cold enough you could make snow, but you'll notice that there's no snow. We blew snow so that we could make this little thing. We had built this thing, you come down, you jump, and you slide the little boxes and stuff like that. And like, anyway, just kind of fun. Like that's the little ramp that you come down, and then you. We actually did this right by the side of. That was a snowboard shop, and they wanted a particular thing. I just was probably showing somebody how to upload a photo, and I already had some pre-canned photos. This could easily be a scam or something. Okay, so don't worry about it. So basically, what I wanted to show you right there is we've drilled down. We were in AP waiting room, then we went into text trail, then we went into that PO, then we went into maybe an item from that PO, and we're currently here. We could even go deeper. It's very important that you know that you can just keep going deeper and deeper. If I wanted to click on the history right here, what's the usage or the history, it would end up saying, hey, I'm a particular item, and I was used here, 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 here. Like, it starts creating all of this process. We'll click on usage, and we come down here, and currently this doesn't have a whole lot of usage. Looks like it's been sold twice on 2 invoices, 430, and it looks like I brought it in on PO2. There's actually 2 line items on the same PO number 2. But basically what it does is it starts tracking. You can go deeper, 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 deeper. Like some people get lost, but basically just find yourself a little map and a GPS tracking unit, and you'll be able to find yourself around no problem. So, any questions? I see a couple blank stares. Alrighty, Sherry, did that sort of answer your question on AP waiting room?
It did.